So what is
These
the
are the
saddest and the happiest country in the world?
According to the World Happiness
In
Review
number
of the
5,
UN,
we have the
right now is
Finland.
Okay, let's start. So for 6 years in a row, Finland has been named the happiest country in the world. How is that possible, and why is America only 15th? I'm sure Finland doesn't have the best food, I'm sure they don't have the best views, and I'm sure there's better places to take fit pics. So why is it that despite all this, Finland still manages to secure the #1 spot? First of all, what is a happy country and how is it measured? The World Happiness Report measures their happiness using 6 key variables: income, healthy life expectancy, having someone to count on in times of trouble, generosity, freedom, and trust. Real quickly, income is based off GDP per capita, and that'll show information about the size of the economy and how it's doing. Healthy life expectancy takes into account physical and mental health. The global life expectancy is 73.4 years, while the healthy life expectancy is only 63.7. Okay, generosity. This is measured by how much people give back to the community. This could be by charities or volunteering. This is just a clear sign of a positive community. Freedom is a measure of human rights in a country. To put it in the way that the World Happiness Report puts it, human rights include the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more. Lastly, trust is measured by absence of corruption in business and government. Okay, so we all know that if happiness was based on one category alone, America would be the clear winner. But it's not. So it's gonna take a little more work for America to make its way to #1. Okay, now that we know how happiness is measured, let's go through the key differences between the United States and Finland. And by key differences, I mean flag, national flower, and national bird, of course. Let me stop. Alright, GDP per capita shows how much economic production value can be attributed to each individual citizen. USA has a population of 340 million, while Finland only has a population of 5.5 million. Because of the difference, there is going to be less business and money going in and out of the country, leading to the difference you see in the GDP. The life expectancy in the US is 77.28 years, but the life expectancy in Finland is 82.13 years. Both these nations are above the healthy life expectancy, but Finland surpasses America by quite a lot. Finnish healthcare is not free. However, when you do pay for it, it's not much at all. Let's say you're going to the dentist. If you don't have any separate procedures done, your visit will be around 14 euros for the whole treatment. Even the hospital prices aren't bad. Let's say you have to go do surgery for whatever reason. The day surgery procedure costs around 150 euros. So you're not going to be begging people around you not to call 911 after you get into an accident. In Finland, 96% of people believe that they know someone they could rely on in a time of need. A survey was done and it showed that most people in Finland expect their wallet to be returned to them if they lost it. So trust is a huge part of Finland. Finnish people generally like the government and feel like the taxes they pay are going to good use. Very much unlike Americans. I don't think I've ever heard one American say a good thing about where their taxes are going, especially with all the controversy that happens quite frequently. Only 18% of Americans feel like their tax dollars are being spent well, and that says a lot because the amount of taxes we pay are pretty significantly less than Finland. The Finland individual tax wedge is about 43.1%, while the American individual tax wedge is 30.5%. Finland is also a very generous country with lots of its citizens supporting charitable organizations in one way or another. The US is also on that same boat. As of 2019, the US has been one of the top charitable countries in the world. Now for the last section, I feel like I'm losing you guys. Hold on. Now for the last section. We all know who's winning this one. In all seriousness, from what I could find, these two countries are pretty similar in terms of freedom. They're both democratic countries that elect their leaders. Basic human rights in Finland are freedom of speech, religion, association, and assembly. Similarly, the First Amendment tells us that Americans have freedom of speech, religion, assembly, and the press. There are 3 branches just like America. Some key differences is that for the executive branch, the election cycle is every 6 years instead of 4. For the judicial branch, judges are demanded to retire at age 65. This was kind of a big deal to me because I know that here in America, judges don't really stop, and people have said a lot about that. Their time really only ends when God calls them up to heaven. I'm kidding. Okay, I've done a lot of comparison, but I haven't actually said anything about why Finland is number 1. Finland is a very green country with a very good work-life balance. 80% of Finland's lakes are in good or excellent condition. Finland plans to go carbon neutral by 2050. They are ranked 9th on the Global Sustainability Index. America is ranked 197th. The average work week is 35 hours, and employees are entitled to plenty of paid holidays and vacation days. Many Finns take 4 work weeks off during summer months. When a baby is born, you get a maternity package that will provide essential items for the baby. It contains things like trousers, caps, socks, mittens, blankets, towels, baby care products, and hygiene products. And if you don't want the box because you already have that stuff at home, you can get 170 euros free of tax. Both parents are able to get 160 days of parental allowance, which will be around 7 months of parental leave. When you're going to be a parent in the hospital, you pay 50 euros a day, and that 50 euros includes 2 meals, snacks, clothes, inspections, diapers, and most of what you need. As for the wealth gap, the richest 10% own about 49.6% of net wealth, while in America that same number owns about 66.6%. Most Finns feel safe in their community. In fact, most kids walk to school themselves. Also, I lied earlier, they have really good views. So why isn't America even close to reaching Finland's level of happiness? It all comes down to social trust. When you have a huge wealth gap, so many major tragedies, and a bunch of people, the trust the nation has in itself can be pretty low. That doesn't mean to say that America isn't a country worth living in. Our diversity and culture here in the US is something that the predominantly homogeneous Finland can't compare to. In conclusion, both these countries are great places to be in, but they both have things to improve upon.